was the only thing that really fit my needs as someone who was traveling and had experienced this.
I called right away, and right from the beginning, I felt a huge sense of relief.
I don't know where I would have been if it hadn't been for the assistance from this organization.
I felt just instantly like there was a hug over the phone. Calling just gave me that first step of knowing at least someone's there for me.
My husband got a job in Venice. We were very excited. I quit my job and I decided to follow him.
My husband being in the military was our primary reason for relocating to Japan. I thought that it would be good for the children.
Way back in the 80s, I met a man who was a Newsweek photojournalist, and I moved overseas with him and spent 2 years in England and 12 years in the United Arab Emirates. During that time, I had 3 sons. Unfortunately, he became more and more abusive as time went by. As an American, I thought I could just go to my American embassy and they would help me get out. And they couldn't help me, and that was kind of a shock, and decided that this was a little piece of the world I wanted to impact, helping other Americans who were experiencing abuse overseas get home and get home safely and stay safe. The organization is 17 years old. I founded it in 1999. And what we do is we provide services to any Americans that are living or traveling overseas. If they become a victim of domestic violence or sexual assault, then we provide services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
In the beginning, it was beautiful when we got there, but gradually those old tendencies began to come, the screaming, the yelling, and I began to feel like he had the upper hand and control because we were in a different country and he was familiar with the Hague Convention.
The Hague Convention on International Child Abduction is a treaty between countries that says if there's a child taken from one jurisdiction to another, if you're part of that treaty, those children have to be returned back to the foreign country for custody.
The main focal point is to keep myself and my children safe because it was obvious that we needed to exit.
He started asking me questions about where I was. I really didn't know what to do.
When our clients call, we want to make sure they know that they don't have to give any information that they don't want to. It's really important they feel comfortable, that we go at their pace. Laura's mom was the first one who actually reached out to us, and that's pretty common for our clients. You know, obviously it's very intimidating when you are experiencing the brunt of that trauma to make those phone calls and to reach out for help. So a lot of times family and friends, they're often the ones that will reach out the first time.
They were able to provide emotional support to both myself and my mother, reassuring us that they were here to help us and they would do whatever they could.
The main thing about building trust with someone is validating their feelings, letting them know and letting them be heard by someone, which hasn't happened for them for probably a long time.
Victory, she took my call. I was being able to tell somebody about my situation without being judged, and they made a really good safety plan so my husband couldn't track me down.
There are a lot of barriers surrounding safety. Oftentimes the survivor is still with the abuser, and whether the survivor is in the process of trying to leave the abuser or still trying to stay safe within the home, they can't leave yet, there are kids involved. We develop a safety plan with that survivor.
Our whole array of services, the case managers answering the phone, then we have attorneys, we also have counseling, we provide funds for hotels if they need immediate safety, danger to safety relocation in the form of airline tickets, food, whatever they need.
We handle so many different cases, whether it's military, civilian, forced marriage. We work with everybody. And we provide culturally competent services considering cultural circumstances that may be affecting how the client views their own situation. And we respect local cultures and customs. We also recognize that everyone deserves to feel safe in their own home.
The good thing with us is somebody calls, we're 100% confidential. If all somebody wants to do is talk, that's all we'll do is talk.
Once you enter into another country, it's important that you have things documented and you have certain securities in place that you can continue to feel like you have some type of leverage.
I know there might be a lot of reasons why you don't feel like asking for help and telling somebody else about this. When you seek help, nobody's going to judge you.
I think if we can create a less victim-blaming society, more people would feel comfortable coming forward and asking for help and eventually telling their story. I hope that anyone who is experiencing abuse feels comfortable calling our confidential 24-hour crisis line or emailing us or live chatting us.